Alright guys, it's time for our NFL Week 8 review and Week 9 preview, and boy was there a lot of fun stuff in Week 8 this year. Before I start off, I made that video about religion yesterday and it possibly becoming a minority in the future. And a number of people said, why do you wear this Jesus Christ jersey? And yes, it's actually Jesus, his name on the back. Why do you wear this if you're a non-believer? I wear this in a lot of my prediction videos. It's just simply a lucky jersey. I don't really wear it for the games or anything, but it's just kind of something I started wearing in these YouTube videos. I don't know. It hasn't really established any sort of precedent for luck, but I got it after Michael Vick came on the team, and I thought it was funny that I saw this right at the same time that Michael Vick came to the Eagles, and that they both have number 7, and I got it kind of just for the lulz. It's something that you can like wear out in public. They're like, that's, what is that, a Michael Vick jersey? A Saints? Jesus! Like the reactions you get with this, it makes it worth it being a non-believer or believer in religion. Anyway, enough of that shit. Let's get into the games. Week 8, oh my god. Oh, jeez. Alright, I'm composed. Started off with Thursday Night Football, San Diego at Denver, and Denver. Look, we all know that I don't really like Peyton Manning. I will give you that he is the best regular season quarterback of all time. But the amount of falling short for someone of his skill level, the amount of falling short he has in the postseason, it makes it to the point where it's now boring to watch him dominate, because I've seen him dominate in the regular season so fucking much of his career. It's just another game where it's like, oh, Peyton Manning puts up 3 touchdowns, the Broncos blow someone out, it's division opponent, blah, blah, blah. Been there, done that. Seen Peyton do that his entire career. And it's weird because because this guy is one of the best. And when I watch someone like Michael Jordan, the Bulls dominate, I even though they would just repeatedly dominate, repeatedly kick ass, I never felt bored watching Michael Jordan play, and I don't give a fuck about the Bulls. I don't give a fuck about the Broncos. It's weird because he is the first dominant player that I've gotten bored with watching play. Like, I don't care. I don't care who he lights up in the regular season, because all I can think of is all those times. 6 times, actually I think it's 7 times he's been one and done in the playoff. Anyways, we all know the track record for him, but point being is that, like, I couldn't even get into this game. It's just like, oh, okay, Peyton's got a commanding lead, and just it doesn't even excite me anymore. It doesn't even, like, it used to be fascinating to watch him put up the numbers he does, but now it's just like, it's boring. Anyway, San Diego beat Denver. Whoop-de-doodly-doo. Surprisingly, the best game of the week, one of the most shocking games of the week, was Detroit at Atlanta. Well, it's an Atlanta home game that was in England. Down 21 points at halftime. Detroit battles back, has a chance to win a field goal. I think they're on their 3rd or 4th kicker this year. They got Matt Prater. They took him off the garbage pile to be the rotisserie kicker for the Lions until he fucks up. It's like a 54-yard field goal. It's a delay game. Push it back 5 yards. He kicks the ball, and it's no good. And backs up another 5 yards, kicks the ball, and it's good. And the Lions end up winning like that in spectacular fashion. Atlanta, I would say rest in peace to your season, but fortunately for you, your division is sucking so fucking bad that a sub 500 team is leading it. And we're halfway through the season. Yikes. Everyone is still a contender in the NFC South right now. Yeah. St. Louis at Kansas City. Kansas City won and won big over St. Louis. No surprise there. I thought Kansas City would end up losing. I don't know. What was I thinking? Houston at Tennessee. Houston wins to take extra momentum into their next opponent. And I don't know, who are they playing next? Who is Houston playing next? Oh, yes, the Eagles. Get to that a little later this week. Minnesota at Tampa Bay in the who gives a flying fuck game of the week. Tampa Bay loses. Minnesota wins. Yippity dee da doo 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 dee dee ba ba ba. Seattle at Carolina. Carolina, I feel your fucking pain. They had this game on CBS here in the Philadelphia market, and I feel Carolina's pain because they have the same problem that you'll often see with the Eagles. They'll get a drive, start at the 20, 10-yard play, 12-yard play, 20-yard play, another 10-yard play, 5-yard play, 3-yard play, 1-yard play, kick a field goal from the 10-yard line. Fucking red zone field goals. Red zone field goals. Impressive drive, halfway across the field. Oh, we're stalled. Carolina is one of those Jekyll and Hyde teams, and I hate Jekyll and Hyde teams because we got to play Carolina this year, where they can look like, man, they're firing on all cylinders, and then all of a sudden they just drop dead. Look good one game, look irrelevant, look like they're barely a 500 team in the next game. Anyway, Carolina's leading the NFC South with a 3-4-1 record, and it's theirs for the taking. It's theirs for the taking. New Orleans seems to be rattling back with their game they play, but we'll get to that in a second. Anyway, Carolina, Seattle, it was a very unimpressive win. If you want to make a push to be a contender again in this league, you gotta look more impressive than that. I know it's a road win. You pulled out a late game heroics, but man, you're on thin ice the entire game, and Seattle just... both teams look like shit, so it's not saying one team did a spectacular job holding the other off or anything like that, but anyways, Seattle just does not look like the same team. It just does not. Anyway, Baltimore at Cincinnati. Cincinnati wins. A lot of you guys called me a dumbass for picking Cincinnati in this game. How do you like them apples? I know Cincinnati is like Carolina. They're that Jekyll and Hyde team. They look like a world beater one game, and then they all of a sudden beat the best team in their division the next game. And still arguable as to whether or not Cincinnati is the best team in the AFC North, but only time will tell there. Miami beats Jacksonville. Whoop da da dee da doo 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 dee da. And New England wins at home at Chicago. Not only wins, but absolutely decimates the Chicago Bears. The Bears are probably one of the most miserable piles of shit in the NFL right now. Now, granted, there's teams playing worse football than them, but they have the talent on that team to not be this fucking bad. To give up a 50-plus spot, I don't care if it's in New England or whatever, to be that bad, I was fucking astonished. And Jay Cutler, oh my God, if I don't think Nick Foles is the future, I can only imagine what Chicago fans think. And they got this fucker locked up for another 6 years. Oh, fuck, Chicago. Fuck. Yikes. Oh, man. At least I'm not a Bears fan. That's all I can say after seeing this team. Holy shit. The Jets getting their doors blown off by Buffalo. Rest in peace Rex Ryan's career as a Jets head coach. Rest in peace Geno Smith. I'm done trying to even give him the benefit of the doubt that, he might turn into something. Three turnovers in the first quarter. This guy just fucking sucks. He's average at best at his best. I'm done. I'm done with him. Yeah, I'm giving up too soon on him. Yeah, okay, whatever. We'll see what he does for you. Arizona beat Philadelphia. I went over that, ad nauseum. Don't need to really talk about that anymore in another video. Cleveland, again, they were blowing their chance to take over the AFC North by losing last week to the hopeless Jags. Come back, win against Oakland here. Still possible contention because they got to play Tampa this week, so they get another win, and all of a sudden they're right there. They're right there. So keep your chin up, Cleveland. Colts losing to Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. A lot of people are saying how, like, you know, the Dallas loss against the Redskins was like the biggest upset of the week. I can't disagree with that anymore by pointing out this Pittsburgh team putting up 50 plus on the Colts just a week after the Colts put up a 0. Well, actually, the Bengals, I should say, put up a 0 against the Colts. The Colts are a much better offensive team than this Pittsburgh Steelers team. How do you give up 0 points on a high-powered offense and then play this Pittsburgh team that is just a bunch of has-beens, and they look like world beaters? It is so hard to predict NFL this year, man. I've never seen craziness like this. Like, this is just fucking insanity. Like, even the Patriots putting up 50 plus. I was like, this is the team a few weeks ago that could barely. I don't even think they scored 20 points on Oakland at home. I think it was like 17, 19 points they had. Now put up 50 plus against the Bears. The Bears are a much better team than Oakland. Anyway, this fucking prediction shit is off the charts this year. And then Green Bay at New Orleans, a game that it was just basically going to be Green Bay's way of saying we're going to take over the NFC North and we're going to stake our claim in the NFC as one of the most dominant teams in the conference. Drew Brees showed up to play, unfortunately. Green Bay has to lick their wounds in the bye week now. And finishing the week, we had Washington at the Dallas Cowboys. Talked about that a little bit in my last video. And the one thing that I just got to know from all this Dallas fans out there, how do you put up with Jerry Jones? Like, how do you do it? Now, the reason why I say that is, on top of all the other shit aside of him, like, you know, controlling draft picks and everything like that and thinking he's this big super football mind, when he walked out on the sidelines in the fourth quarter and goes up to Jason Garrett and tells him point blank, Romo is coming back into play. Now, I'm not saying that's the bad decision, because frankly, if I was the coach of the team, I would have probably put Romo back in the game for the one reason that, and I know Whedon was looking good. I know Whedon put up more points on offense, or the team put up more points on offense while Whedon was in the game than the majority of the game that Romo was in. I would do it just for the sole fact that if Romo came back and won that game, it would have been such a psychological shitstorm booster for the entire Dallas Cowboys team. And a loss right now isn't the end of the world. It sucks that it was against a dead last team with a third-string quarterback, but I would have put Romo in. But now going back to the whole Jason Garrett, Jerry Jones thing, when your GM comes down to your field, comes down to the sidelines, and tells your coach what to do, how do you put up with that shit as a Dallas Cowboys fan? Like, how do you do it? How do you sit there and know that your coach does not have control of his team? Now, granted, Jason Garrett may have wanted Tony Romo to come back in the game, but the point is, if Jason Garrett didn't want Tony Romo to come back in, it wouldn't have mattered. Because Jerry Jones hired Jason Garrett for the one reason and one reason only, and that is he is his step-and-fetch little bitch boy. He is his pawn. He's not he's not Jimmy Johnson, he's not Bill Parcells. Those two guys wanted to actually coach and control the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry Johnson, he doesn't want coaches like that. Jesus Christ, all these J names. Jerry Jones doesn't want a coach that has control of his team. And that's why Jason Garrett's there. Jason Garrett is a weak coach that will step and fetch, kowtow to whatever Jerry Jones wants. And I would lose my fucking mind as a Dallas Cowboys fan knowing that my owner and quote GM, because he's such a scary football mind, controls the team. Like, he has absolute control of coaching decisions, personnel decisions, and building a big, ridiculous arena that more fans of the other team show up to because, anyways. I don't know how you Dallas fans put up with that shit. I would lose my fucking mind seeing the GM come down and tell my coach what's going to happen. Oh my god. And how does Jason Garrett feel as a man, knowing that he's just nothing but a little bitch boy, a little pawn? He was hired because he was weak, and he gets manipulated because he's weak. Fuck, man. I would lose my fucking mind, as I said. Anyway, let's go into week 9 here. A lot of buys this week, so the week 9 predictions are going to be rather short. The buys are Atlanta, Buffalo, Chicago, Green Bay, Tennessee, and Detroit. 6 teams. Boy, your fantasy rosters must be taking a hit, people. New Orleans at Carolina to start the week. I have no fucking idea who's going to win this team because, like I said in my Carolina review, Carolina's a Jekyll and Hyde team, but then so is New Orleans. Both of these teams don't know whether they're showing up as playoff contenders or shitting the bed like playoff pretenders. Neither of these teams have consistently played good football all year. And it's basically whatever team is going to show up, I'll give the edge to the home team and say Carolina's going to win. I won't be surprised if Carolina doesn't show up and New Orleans blows their fucking doors off and vice versa. There's no solid way you could pick one team over the other right now. You could say New Orleans has the hotter hand coming in after what they did to Green Bay. Other than that, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll pick Carolina because they're at home. Tampa Bay at Cleveland. Cleveland, this is your chance. Get those back-to-back wins. Stay within grasp. Got a lot of divisional games coming up still. There is still a chance that you guys can win that AFC North. And I'm pulling for you, Cleveland. I'm pulling for you. You didn't fucking lose 2 weeks ago. You'd be in a lot better shape. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Arizona at Dallas. This is a tough one, because there probably isn't 2 more teams that I hate right fucking now than these 2 teams. I wish that this would end in a tie. In fact, I can't predict the tie. That's such a stupid thing to do. You gotta ask yourselves, is that the real Dallas team? Are they gonna have are they gonna give up on the run? Are they gonna lose a game again because they gave up on the run? I can tell you from firsthand, from seeing this I almost said St. Louis Cardinals, this Arizona Cardinals team, they are solid on defense at every position, on the line, in the secondary, and I think Dallas is going to struggle with that. I don't think Dallas is going to put up a lot of points. However, I see Dallas winning this game. I will take... Even if Romo isn't starting, even if it turns out Romo has some sort of something that's revealed from the MRIs and whatnot, I don't even know if they came back negative yet or not. But even if Romo's not starting, I still like Dallas's chances. That game last week with the Washington Redskins, it was just a game where they took risks. They took risks that you normally wouldn't see a team take, and by that I mean on defense. The Redskins sent the fucking house every single play, because they said, hey, if we get burned and Dallas blows our doors off, what do we care? We're a dead last team. But if it's success and Dallas doesn't decide to do max protect, which they didn't, I have no fucking clue why they never ran max protect on offense, and they win like they did, the talk of the town. Well, Dallas is still the talk of the town, but that's a whole different story. I still see Dallas winning this game. The Dallas defense and the offense isn't going to look as bad on Dallas, because, like I said, the Redskins went just all out. They said, we got nothing else better to do than just send max blitz 10,000 fucking times in the game and hope that at least throws Tony off of his game, which it did. Anyway, yeah, look for Dallas to win. Philadelphia at Houston, I'll have that review later on this week. All I got to say is Houston leads the league in forcing turnovers, and Eagles are either 1 or 2 in the league in turnovers. That's a recipe for disaster. Anyway, review coming later this week. New York Jets at Kansas City. This will be the game that Rex Ryan gets fired after. Kansas City is going to fuck them up. They're going to, just like what the Redskins did to Tony Romo, they're going to bend over the New York Jets and fuck her right in her pussy. Jacksonville at Cincinnati. See, Cleveland, this is your chance. You could be right there with Cincinnati, because Cincinnati's going to beat the piss out of Jacksonville. Cleveland, come on, man. Anyways, look for Cincinnati to win at home. San Diego at Miami. Who really cares? San Diego will rebound and come back with a win off of that loss to Denver last week. The who gives a flying fuck game of the week. Washington at Minnesota. Who cares? Give the edge to the home team, Minnesota. St. Louis at San Francisco. San Francisco. Still, San Francisco doesn't impress me, but this is the time where they're going to start getting a lot of pieces back, and I think you're going to start seeing a much, much different San Francisco team to close out the season. And frankly, I don't think anyone, any team, not even the Rams, is all that afraid of the Cardinals right now, despite what their record is. But I'm obviously bitter because they beat my team. Anyway, talk to some San Francisco and Seattle fans and find out how afraid they are of your Cardinals team, guys. Anyway, Denver at New England. This is for the title of the best team in the NFL right now. I'm not saying whoever wins this game is going to definitely go on to win the Super Bowl or anything like that. Just a Brady-Peyton Manning matchup. It's that classic matchup of this era. It's in New England, and like I said, this is going to be for the title of who is the flat-out best. Unarguable as far as I'm concerned, even though if Denver loses, they'll have the same amount of losses as New England will. And even if the Cardinals go on to win, they'll have one less loss than either of these two teams if Denver loses. I would take this team, whoever wins this game, over the Cardinals any day, despite what the records show. It's tough because New England really made a statement last week in saying that, we're not going to be that flimsy team that's going to have an iffy win and then go into the next week playing a solid team like Denver. But Peyton Manning's the fucking shit. He's going to go into New England, go into Foxborough. He's going to have 3+ touchdowns, and he's going to win a game. And I'm probably going to fall asleep during the game. Yippity-dee-da-doo-ba-baby-da. Oakland at Seattle. Seattle. If you at all want to be seriously considered as a threat to even not only make the playoffs, but to regain your glory and win another Super Bowl, you have to beat the fucking piss out of a team like Oakland coming into your house. This Oakland team sucks. Now, I've said before, they play teams competitive, which they do. Oakland is probably one of the worst teams that I've seen in a while. They're nowhere near as bad as their record. They're playing at like a 2, possibly 3-win type team right now. And I won't be surprised if they give up points to Oakland. I'm not saying Oakland, they have to shut them out to regain confidence in Seattle. But you got to win this game by at least 17 points. There's no excuse if you don't. And if you want to get your shit back together, get some mojo going back with that team again, you got to fuck this team up. You got to do, again, what Washington did to Dallas Cowboys and what everyone else is going to do, blows out other team, bend them over, fuck them right in the pussy. Anyway, obviously I see Seattle winning this game. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. The rivalry of all rivalries that used to be a big thing until Baltimore started getting the better of Pittsburgh as of late, including kicking the piss out of them earlier this year in Baltimore. Look for Baltimore to win this game. I'm not all that impressed with what happened last week. I mean, are you kidding me? You think Ben Roethlisberger is going to throw over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns like that ever again? I highly doubt it. I can eat my words, but I highly doubt it. And ending the week, we have Indianapolis at the New York Giants. I also think what happened with Indianapolis last week was a fluke, and they're going to rebound, and they're going to whoop the Giants' ass. So, very, very entertaining week of football. Like I said, this week 8 was one of the most entertaining weeks of football that I've seen. Even though my Eagles lost, it was a good, entertaining game, despite all the fucking flags in the first half. My God, I didn't even address that in my previous videos. But anyway, Good fucking week of football. Let's follow it up with another good week, another classic matchup, a game with Manning and Brady. I wish I wasn't just insomnia driven when I just, well, actually, no, what am I saying? Anyways, I fall asleep. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know why I said insomnia. I fall asleep when I watch Peyton Manning play now because I'm just bored. Anyway, Eagles, get your shit together. Dallas, please lose. Have a good day, everyone. A better tomorrow. And fuck the Dallas Cowboys. Right in Jerry Jones' pussy. Have a good day, guys.